Hello and welcome to Kits and Wagers. This is it, the special edition of Kits and Wagers. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Chris Owen. We are giving 10 bets, each of us, for all 10 games on Sunday. Chris, welcome into the final Kits and Wagers show of the Premier League season.
Adam, I'm pumped. This is what episode 45 of the season or so. We were doing some futures bets in the international breaks. We're covering pretty much every game week. So I think we're right around 45 episodes this season. This is the inaugural season and what will likely be one of many. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. It'll be fun to wrap this up with another 10 bets here, which is like a pressure-packed episode for us here. And most importantly, we've got a little something on the line here for our bets. So that should be interesting. And, hopefully I come out on top and got like a new kit or scarf or whatever we do.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we put like a $20 max on this or how are we doing this?
I vividly remember you saying earlier in the season, we only do $100 bets. So maybe we stick to that. I don't know.
Right.
And I don't know if that was bravada or if that was something else, but
Well, my hometown club, Tulip City United, I don't know if they sell anything that goes up to 100. I think it's like T-shirts and like beanies and stuff like that.
I want some Tulips United FC gear. That sounds cool.
Like I don't know if they have kits yet, to be honest.
Okay.
So,
still coming. Research and development is still working on those kits.
Yeah. So I guess we got your kit. You're wearing one of your Liverpool kits to start the show off. Is that correct? Is that what I see here? Is red kit?
That's correct. One of my first kits I got as a young lad. This is Christopher before he was Chris, So got this kit. I was probably like 13 or so, and I only usually wear it for cup finals. So last weekend, and then I'm 1-1 in Champions League, or I guess 1 and 2 in Champions League finals. We're in this. I'll be wearing it next weekend as well, but it's just kind of, I wouldn't even call it my lucky kit, but it's my favorite kit. So, whipped it out for the last show. There's still the chance that maybe Liverpool comes away with a Premier League title, although it's probably highly unlikely. But yeah, got to wear this one. It's classic. It's my favorite kit. So pull it out for the last episode. Looks like you got a little something with a big old collar there.
Yeah, this is my lucky high school kit here, number 17, the Pure West. So I just didn't want to show any bias, like you have your Liverpool bias. Like we all know about your Liverpool, all this. So I'm just you don't know where I'm coming at. I'm not wearing, Villa, Chelsea, Man United, anything I have. I'm going, straight up old school high school kit. So you don't know what my bets are going to be, but we got to get into this here. Let me crack my beer up.
You're the voice of reason on this podcast where, maybe
I'm the voice of reason as I crack open this New Holland beer as we start 10 bets.
Cheers.
in hopefully less than an hour.
Yeah, we'll get it in and out here in 60 minutes.
Okay.
It is a Friday after all. We can't keep the audience too long.
Yes, true. We're going to do alphabetical order of home teams until we hit we're going to finish with Liverpool and Manchester City for the two teams playing for first place in the Premier League. So first matchup, we got Arsenal at home against Everton. You got Arsenal minus 285. So Arsenal were minus 190 yesterday, and then Everton won. So massive jump in the past 24 hours. Draws plus 450, Everton to win plus 750. Over 3.5 goals plus 140. Under 2.5 goals, also plus 140. Thoughts on this game? How much do you think Everton are going to rotate in this spot? And if they don't rotate, how drunk do you think, or how unsober do you think some of these guys like Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are going to be?
That's a big question. I mean, the latter question is a really big question. I gotta believe they had some pretty big celebrations. That was Thursday. Pretty not too bad of a turnaround here, but it's 3 days. Usually, a good hangover only lasts half a day to a day. So I think they'll be primed. I can't imagine why Frank Lampard rotates here. It's like they haven't played well all season. It's not like they deserve to like put in some youngsters. So I think they go with a full team here. I mean, just being 16th in the Premier League isn't like grounds for like, all right, let's start some players. Okay, so let's back up there. But Arsenal, on the other hand, should be an interesting. I mean, they're playing for a lot here. I guess Everton are kind of secure, so I expect a full side from from Arsenal, but and the same for Everton as well. So I'm curious to see, what comes out, but I would expect like a starting 11 from both teams.
I'm not entirely sure. I just don't think the motivation's going to be there for Everton. They just got off this massive home win, which, they fans came out of the pitch for. And so my bet is going to be Arsenal over 2.5 goals. Again, these odds have changed. I wrote it down yesterday as plus 165. It's now plus 125. I like Arsenal to get over 2.5. Must win spot for them. And in the right matchup against who knows how much these Everton players are going to care about this game. I think the Arsenal goals will be there. They recently scored, 4 against. They've been in decent form lately. So I'm going over Arsenal goals. That's over 2.5. What do you got?
Yeah. Are you saying that's your best bet?
Yes, that is.
Okay. Best bet for this match. Well, this is the one that I feel like has a lot of options. Just like thinking about the match in general, but two things I was looking at. Everton, like Arsenal, are so heavily favored here, which I think is fair given that they have a little bit more to play for than Everton. But you can get Everton at plus 1.5 at minus 120. Not the bet, like you're right on the cusp of good odds there, but I think it's a safe bet. And I'm going to start with that. Everton plus 1.5 at minus 120.
Holy cow!
If you really want to get a little more spicy, you could go Everton plus 0.5 and you'd get plus 235. So
yeah, that would be draw no bet. That'd be double chance. Sorry.
Yeah, that'd be double chance. And when you think about that, the double chance, I guess if you wanted to go back and actually look at it, the Everton double chance is plus 240. So you get a little like slightly better odds there.
So we are the first game. We're kind of going head to head here. So I kind of like Arsenal, and you kind of like Everton. So all right.
Yeah, I mean, I just like Everton to either draw or, I don't really expect them to win, but I think Arsenal are just like kind of falling apart and tearing at the seams right now.
Very true. All right, next match. We got Brentford home against Leeds. This one also has some implications here. So Leeds, they need to win. I think they're a point behind Burnley and they need to win so they aren't relegated. So we got Brentford plus 140 to win. Leeds are plus 180 to win. The draw is plus 275. Over 3.5 goals is plus 145. Under 2.5 goals, plus 135. What are your thoughts on this match? You think Leeds have a chance to not be relegated here, even though Brentford have been pretty good at home this season?
Yeah, I think mostly it's Brentford that have been good at home this season. They've also been playing pretty decently. Leeds, on the other hand, they've had every chance in the world to kind of get points. They've had an especially tough stretch at the end of the season. They haven't been able to get those points. It's them or Burnley who are going down. Burnley slightly. I think if I had to pick two teams I'd rather play Newcastle at this point than Leeds playing Brentford. Brentford have looked good earlier in the season. This match ended up 2-2, so it'd be interesting to maybe follow suit with that and take some of the overs there. But I think overall on this one, I like. Sorry, I got to look here. I think there will be goals. Given they last played in the championship two seasons ago, that ended up 1-1. Earlier this season, it was 2-2. So I'm going to take. And I don't need to get it done here. I just don't see them winning against Brentford. So I'm going to take both teams to score no draw. Yes, and that's plus 115.
Okay. So you're going with at least a 2-1 result. You're going
correct. At least 2-1.
Saying either side could win. Okay.
Yep.
I think Brentford are the better team. They've been playing better most of the season. And, one thing that's put into all of these spreads is that, this team has more to play for. They have more motivation. But, Brentford, they aren't in the Premier League every season, so they're newly in the Premier League. And I think they're just going to close They're going to close their season at home, and I think they're going to get the win. Plus 140, Brentford to win, and Leeds will be pushing, but I just think Brentford will have the counter, and I like Brentford's team overall better, so I'm just going to take that. They haven't allowed a goal in their last 4 home matches, and I'm just going with that one. So Brentford to win is plus 140.
They've also been playing really well too. I mean, they beat Man United, was it 3-0? Beat Southampton 3-0. They beat Everton previous match. This is an Everton down a man, but they won 3-2. So they've been filling it up. And then on the other side of that, there's been quite a few goals in the Leeds matches. Aside from Norwich, I think Leeds have given up the most goals. So if you don't like either of our bets given, the other one that I would really be intrigued by is the over 3.5 at plus 145.
Yeah, just to make a correction here, you said they beat Manchester United. Brentford actually lost 3-0 at Manchester
They lost
United.
3-0?
Yeah.
Okay, I read that wrong.
Yeah, but that was away from home, so I don't really care about that. But next match, Brighton are home against West Ham, and we have Brighton to win is plus 135, West Ham to win plus 190, draw plus 260. You can get over 2.5 goals at minus 135, under 2.5 goals plus 110. So there's a slight chance here that West Ham can get top 6 instead of top 7. They're just behind Manchester United in the table. They're 2 points behind. So it is a stretch that they get that final Europa League spot instead of Europa Conference League. I'm not sure how much that means actually in this matchup. The odds have gone. There has been some money on Brighton over the past 24 hours. But what do we think is going to happen in this match? Brighton, nothing to play for, but this is their last home game.
Yeah, this is, of the 10 matches that we looked at, this is the one where I was like, what the heck am I going to do here? It's tough because West Ham have like a little bit to play for, but not much. Whereas Brighton, they have nothing to play for. So, aside from a couple bucks here and there in terms of where they finish in the table. But yeah, it's interesting looking at their previous results. Earlier in the season, it was 1-1. Last season, they actually played in late May as well, and that was also 1-1. They've drawn their last 6 matches. I'm sorry, 1-1. The last 2-2, 3-3, 1-1, 2-2. So a lot of draws here in all of their matchups, and so I think it's tough to really guess on this one. But if I was going to go anywhere, we've seen quite a few goals. But in the last 2 matches, those 2 1-1s lead me to believe that maybe it might be another 1-1. So I'm going to go under 2.5 here, and I believe we got those odds at under 2.5 was plus 110. So you're getting plus odds.
Okay, I thought you were going with a straight up draw bet, which is what I'm going with.
Yes, love it.
Just going off exactly what you said. 6 straight draws between these teams. Brighton, nothing to play for, but they are playing pretty well. And, last home game, I think no matter who's ahead, if someone gets ahead, I think the other team has enough to, get the equalizing goal. And, why not just go with goals? My first look was to actually do both teams to score, but unfortunately that's at minus 175. Yeah. So I'm not going to take that. I think both teams are going to score, but the worry for a draw is in there, so I'm just going to go with the draw plus 260.
I also took a peek at those both teams to score odds too, and I was like slightly disappointed. I was like, oh, this would have been such an easy bet. But yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, the 6 straight draws, like you don't see that very often. And yeah, we're kind of on the same page there a little bit, but we'll see how many if there's quite a few goals or not.
Yeah, Brighton tied with the league lead with 15 draws out of 37 matches this season. So there you go. Next match, we have Burnley at home against Newcastle, the other team that's threatened to be relegated here. Burnley are sitting, let me double check here. They are actually even with Leeds. I thought they were 1 point ahead. Maybe I was wrong there, but they have the goal differential.
Yep.
They have the goal differential
by like 20 goals.
Yeah.
Right.
So
they're pretty safe there.
Burnley is mostly safe unless they lose. But Burnley at home, they are plus 125 to win. Newcastle are plus 220 to win. 240 plus 245 in the draw, and then you can get over 2.5 goals at -110, under 2.5 goals, -115. Newcastle, last match on Monday, kind of fresh in our heads. They absolutely dominated Arsenal. It was Newcastle's last home match. So what does that mean? We have Burnley's last home match. How much does that mean? We'll see what happens. But what do you think? Is Burnley gonna take out Leeds, or what do you think is gonna happen here?
Yeah, tough call here. Like I said, of those two relegation matches, like between Leeds and Burnley, I still think that I'd rather play Newcastle. But I just don't know if Burnley have the firepower to get it done. I think they come away with a point, and Leeds maybe come away with a point, and they come in that 20 goal differential. Or difference in goal differential is the one that is the big change here. So I could see a draw here, and that's where I'm going to go with my bet is a tie and over 1.5. You're getting much longer odds than the odds I've been giving, and those are plus 330 for a tie and over 1.5. So essentially, you're looking for like a 1-1 tie, and God forbid that there's a 2-2, but that would work out too.
That's what your bet is? You're giving a plus 330 bet?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy cow!
This is our last podcast of the season. We've been doing, looking just for barely plus odds, but let's get a little spicy with it. Let's give these people what they want.
Would you, so that you're basically playing for a 1-1 or a 2-2 result, would you rather take a 1-1 exact score? That's plus 550.
I mean, you have the option there for a wild 2-2, so you get a little bit of a wider variety. It's not much of a safety net, but it still makes for a little bit more interesting. And yeah, I mean 1-1, you could really double down there and go plus 330, and the 1-1 at plus whatever you said, 550 or so, plus 500.
All right, I'm kind of going in a different route here, which is
it.
both of our bets cannot win. I was first to look at double chance for Newcastle, but the odds weren't good enough. You can get double chance, draw no bet at plus 130. I will be doing a draw no bet on another match, so I will not be taking. I didn't want to take 2 draw no bets out of 10 bets, so I'm taking both teams to score no. That is plus 115. So I think whoever scores first, the other team is. I'm trying to get my words here. Whoever scores first is going to be able to defend and lock down whatever the other team's going to throw at them. So Burnley, if they score first, obviously they're just going to sit back, kind of a thing. Newcastle, they don't have anything to play for, so I think that will be 1-0 result. I just like the 1-0 result to both sides, because I think if Newcastle scores, I'm not sure if Newcastle scores first. I'm not sure Burnley can put in what we just saw from Everton on Thursday. Like, Burnley is not the same kind of team as Everton. They don't have the same type of players, and they play differently. And I also think Newcastle are playing really well, and they've been playing really compact. So I don't think either team is going to get a ton of chances in this match, but I'm just hoping that this is the lowest scoring match of the weekend, and I'll take one of those bets there. This is plus 115 for no on both teams to score.
Interesting. So a little safer bet here, so you might come away with that one. But however, if this ends up 1-1, I'll be incredibly excited.
Yeah.
You gotta. We're not here to just give them a couple bucks. We're here to give them a few bucks.
Few bucks. I mean, there's been most of our bets so far have been plus odds, so I think that's a positive you can take
that's
away.
Fair. Aside from the one that I began with, which I believe was a minus 120.
Yes, the Everton bet.
A little concern. I mean, Burnley have dealt with a ton of injuries, but these have been ongoing for a while. So I still think Newcastle, from a starting 11 perspective, they just have a much better team. And so, yeah, I would, if I hadn't taken a juicy draw here, then I would take Newcastle. But I just don't think Burnley can get it done against Newcastle.
Yeah. Next match, we have Chelsea against Watford, 2 teams with nothing to play for. Chelsea are home, minus 650 to win. Watford are plus 1,600. And then you have the draw at plus 750. Over 3.5 goals is plus 110. Under 3.5 goals, minus 135. I originally thought that Watford was just going to kind of, lay down the rest of the season, which they did the last couple matches, but kind of out of nowhere, guys like Firmino, Josh King, Cucho Hernandez, those guys are back in training this week. So there's a possibility we see actually regular starters come back into the team for Watford, which hasn't been the case the last two matches. Kind of has me tentative a little bit about what's going to happen in this matchup. And then after Thursday's match for Chelsea, they drew Leicester 1-1. I know this is Chelsea's last home matchup, but Marcos Alonso basically said, he's like, we're all tired. We've played the most games in the league or in the world this season, kind of a thing. Although
Classic.
most games in the world probably isn't true when like you compare it with championship teams, but there might be a rotation for Chelsea. Do you think this is just a complete romp here for Chelsea home against a Watford team that are giving up goals in bunches?
I'm gonna do a quick fact check. The most matches you can play in a season if you're a Premier League team and in the Champions League is 63 matches. The reason we know that is because Liverpool are playing 63 matches. So Marcos Alonso, I'll throw that comment in the trash. But
they've played one more match than Liverpool. I think Liverpool, once they play Champions League, they're going to play the same amount because Chelsea had the Club World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, because
So
Chelsea, but they only played one match. Anyways, they wouldn't have played enough in the Champions League. They were out in the semis, or was it the quarters?
Someone fact check this. So I'm just saying what I heard. They've currently played one more, I believe.
Because I think you have to make it to every final to play the most.
Hey,
anyways,
I don't know.
Maybe we'll have to do a little research on this, but I'm a bit weary of that out of Marcos Alonso. Anyways, carrying on here, I'm going to toss out another number related to this match, and that's $124 million. That's how much Romelu Lukaku costs when he was acquired from Inter Milan this summer. This is, we'll tie this one in here, but he's been incredibly disappointing throughout the season. This could be potentially the last match he plays for Chelsea. There's a little bit of, kind of the rumor mill out there that he might be done under Thomas Tuchel. But all that said, he's got 3 goals in his last 3 matches. The guy is like, he's like in a relationship that you should probably get out of, but he's trying to do the right things at the end of it. So 3 goals in 3 matches. You can get, I think he's got the second or third best odds on this 10-game slate. You can get him to score at plus 100 odds. Another thing that kind of led me to this is that this match has the highest implied goal total. So you'd expect a few goals here. Watford have given up the 3rd most amount of goals in the Premier League. So give me Big Rom to score plus 100.
Okay, we have to have some stipulations here. What if Lukaku does not start? Are we having backup bets here?
We could, I suppose. If that's the case, I mean,
otherwise it's an auto loss if Lukaku, doesn't start, and so
interesting.
I'll give mine. You can think about it. I'll give mine.
Let me peel around the internet here real quick.
Okay, yeah. So I wrote down Chelsea minus 2.5 yesterday, and that's kind of what I'm sticking with. I just don't think Watford have enough here. They're just nothing to play for. Roy Hodgson, this is his last match for the team, and even if Chelsea rotate a bit, like their team is still better than Watford. So I like Chelsea minus 2.5 at plus 125. It's pretty big, but this is a spot where they can win 3-0. They can win 5-1, where they can get the most goals on the slate, that kind of a thing. And just bringing it back to the original point here with Chelsea, I looked up, they played 4 matches in the Club World Cup. So coming back to the most matches played in the world. So that adds to it, if that answers your question.
Well,
but do you have another bet
follow
for
up
us?
On Twitter. Maybe we'll get some Twitter beef going
Okay.
Potentially. Like I said, highest implied goal total here. If you're watching on YouTube, Adam's got the odds report pulled up. And I do think, even if Big Rom doesn't start, Chelsea are going to probably shellac Watford here. And so that being said, you can get the total over 3.5 goals at plus 110, about the same odds as that Big Rom. But Watford is going to put out Adam Messina. He's been playing at left back a little bit, and he's like their second choice left back. Kiko Firmino might play. Otherwise, this is the one thing that makes me weary of this over, because I don't think Watford are going to score. They're starting like Samuel Kalou up front, Ken Sema, João Pedro. Like no, if you go onto the lineups page here on rotowire.com, you can just see about like 10 to 15 players that are out injured for them. But I would just expect to see Chelsea kind of fill up the net here, and if Big Rom does it at a plus 100 odds, then we'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, I will say, like I said, Cucho Hernandez and Josh King are both options again. They haven't been the last two matches. But next match, moving along here. Crystal Palace are home against Manchester United. These teams don't have a ton to play for. Manchester United are, as I said earlier, sitting in sixth place. They're 2 points above West Ham. There's a slight chance if Manchester United lose this match and West Ham win their match that Man United drop to seventh place, which is a Europa Conference League spot. So, there is some motivation, but they've also been off 2 weeks, and we'll see what kind of lineup they put out here. But we have Crystal Palace are plus 205 to win at home. Manchester United plus 130. Draw is plus 260. Over 2.5 goals, minus 140. Under 2.5 goals, plus 110. I'm just going to go right ahead and go with my bet. I'm going Crystal Palace, draw, no bet, plus 120. So I think Crystal Palace can win this match. The one thing I'm worried about is Mark Guehi, one of their center backs, who's almost started every match this season, picked up an injury last match on Thursday. And if he can't go, I'm kind of tentative. That's why I kind of went off Crystal Palace to win. So I'm going with the safe bet of draw, no bet, which means if this match is a draw, you're getting your money back. So in that case, that would be a draw for me. So the hope for you is that your bet wins this one. So what do you got?
Yeah, well, now I'm thinking of a backup bet here too, because given the stipulation of my last bet with Lukaku, I'm going back to back on the anytime goal scoring odds, because Adam and I have been talking about this since early August. I think we did our first international break podcast, and we did Premier League futures. We discussed who's going to score the most amount of goals.
Do not bet on Ronaldo. Don't do this.
And so Adam's been adamant, and we've discussed this throughout the season. And at this point, he took, was it under 20 goals for Ronaldo? I don't remember what the odds are.
20 and a half.
20 and a half. So he's looking pretty good here.
Don't say anything.
He's looking really good at Ronaldo's currently sitting at 18 goals for the season. That being said, he's sitting there right at minus 110 as an anytime goal scorer. So he plucks one goal and you cash out there. But I didn't look to see what multiple goals was to get him over 20 and a half. But that would be interesting to see that. But I think I hope he sticks around United. United would be better off with him there, whether that's the next season or more than that. But I don't think he sticks around any longer. I'm rooting for Ronaldo to score, and maybe even a couple here to kind of take out that under 20 and a half that Adams that we've been discussing throughout the season. So that being said, I'm going to go Cristiano Ronaldo, anytime goal scorer, minus 110.
All right. Just gotta hope he doesn't get 3, and then I'm fine.
I'm gonna quickly look up goals if he can get multiple goals here, because that would be fun. But I just think he's got the best opportunity to do it.
Yeah, to score 2 or more, you got Ronaldo 475 to get that hat trick. It's plus 2,200. So there you go.
There's the I'm not going to put a plus 2,200 down as my best bet, but that'd be
should I hedge my under 20 and a half?
Reverse psychology. It seems like a must here. Put down a little something on that.
Seems like a waste of money, but all right.
Palace are pretty good, and it would be surprising to see them concede 3 goals, let alone 3 for Cristiano Ronaldo.
All right, next match. Leicester City home against Southampton. These teams don't have anything to play for. Leicester City minus 120 to win. Southampton plus 295. The draw is plus 310. Over 3.5 goals, plus 135. Under 2.5 goals, plus 145. I think there's going to be goals in this matchup. As you see in our lineups here, James Justin should be back from, I believe, an illness. Tielemans had a minor issue. But Leicester battled on Thursday against Chelsea, got really outplayed by them, but it's a short week for them. I still think in their final home match that Maddison and Vardy are going to start. Leicester have been going off on Twitter all day, all week about this being, I think, the 10th season for Jamie Vardy at Leicester City. So I really doubt that, they're going to be resting their top guys in the home finale here. So I like Leicester City to win at minus 120, right on the cusp there, not getting the best odds. This was minus 110 yesterday. So unfortunately, it looks like some people are buying into Southampton struggling to close the season, but I'll take Leicester City to win here.
That was my first reaction. I saw those odds and I was like, Leicester to win. Really like those. I'm not going to go that route, but you did mention that you're expecting some goals in this one, and so am I. I think that you can get this is a little bit better odds, but a little bit longer of play here. I think this match has a lot of goals. You can get over 3.5 at plus 135. Looking back, this is the same matchup in 2019 that brought us a vintage 9-0. I remember watching that, sitting around and thinking that was absurd. But you mentioned Jamie Vardy. I mean, probably your favorite player's favorite player. So like the guy is just tenacious. But yeah, I expect him to play a whole team, or a whole strong starting 11. And Southampton have been giving up goals, and meanwhile Leicester too. So Leicester's scored 58 goals. They've given up 58 goals. That's in the top third for each category, or top third of the Premier League for each category. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this, go over 3.5 goals. And for that, I'm taking that at plus 135.
All right. Yeah. I like goals in this matchup. I believe, I guess it used to a couple days ago or even yesterday, it had the highest implied total for all matches, just because it's expected that both teams are actually going to score. So there you go.
Yeah.
Someone is telling us in the chat, Casey is saying, give me Everton plus 750, a lot of momentum headed into this match. Okay, there you go. That goes with your plus 1.5 bet. So there's more people that like Everton in this spot. Maybe it'll screw me. Maybe it won't. We'll see.
Next match. I'll let you know if it does, though.
Next match, we have the other end of the top four battle. Speaking of Everton and Arsenal, we have Norwich at home against Tottenham. Norwich plus 1,100 to win. Draws plus 500. Tottenham are minus 380. Of note, Tottenham were, I believe, minus 450 yesterday. They are now plus 380. I don't know if this is related to, food poisoning and all this stuff that's going on over there, but it's kind of weird that the odds moved that much because of, potential food poisoning. But
Lasagna gate.
over 3.5 goals, plus 115, under 3.5 goals at minus 140. I think this may have been one of the harder games to find a bet for, because I first looked at, Tottenham -2, that kind of a thing. But I mean, there will be nerves in this match for Tottenham. Like, they need a win. They can't. Arsenal are in a great spot. And, then I looked at guys like Son or Kane to score, and I ended up on something a little different. I'm taking Tottenham over 7.5 corners. That's minus 105. I think that no matter how this match goes, I think they can get corners. If they struggle to score in the first half, if it's scoreless in the second half, they'll be pushing and there will be corners for them. But even if they score early, I think that Norwich, they're going to play a little more open. This is their final home game in the Premier League for at least another year, and they've been playing a little more open lately. So I think that Tottenham will get to at least 8 corners. At least that's a hope. Minus 105. What do you got?
That's interesting. You love a good corner bet. We've talked about a couple corner bets throughout the year, and very varied degrees of success on those.
Very.
I think you had the Southampton one against Chelsea earlier in the season. That was
don't speak of it.
We'll keep that one out. But anyways, Yeah, it's funny when I put my bets together, I did it in the order that DraftKings has listed as I went through the odds. And Adam, very organized gentleman, knows what he's doing, keeps things very together, and so he put it into alphabetical order. And so, now I'm on to I might go with my second straight consecutive bets here with the same bet. So I'm actually going to give a different one, but I did have this match at over 3.5 goals. Tottenham are really good at scoring goals, at least as of late. While Norwich concede a boatload of goals. Aside from Leeds, they've given up the second most amount of goals in the Premier League, and they've got nothing to play for. They've been relegated for 3 weeks now. Tottenham, meanwhile, playing to keep for that spot in the Champions League. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them kind of fill it up here, and they're just so much more quality team than Norwich are. That being said, there's some fun ones for the player bets. You were talking about Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, where you can't really get good anytime goal scoring odds. I think Harry Kane is like minus 190, which is one of the highest we've seen this season. And then Heung-min Son is like minus 120 or so. But outside of that, Norwich also concede a ton of them, and Leeds concede a ton of shots on goal too. So I'm going to get kind of interesting here. And Norwich conceded 5.86 shots on goal per 90 minutes. So let's get a little interesting with this one. And let's go player to 3 or more shots on target. You can get Heung-min Son at plus 120. So lock that in for my best bet, just because I cannot go 2 matches in a row twice with the same bet.
3 or more shots on target is what you're saying.
That's correct.
That's only plus 120?
Yeah, only plus 120, which is surprising. That should be closer to like plus 200, but any port in a storm on this one.
That's a lot of shots on target.
Yeah, he did it 2 matches ago or 3 matches ago against Leicester. He's done it against Aston Villa. He's done it against Leeds, who also give up a ton. He's done it against Southampton.
Okay.
So he's done it 4 times this season. So kind of a big ask. But if there was better odds for 2 shots on goal, I would certainly go there. But it's minus 200, so you're not getting a whole lot there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we get to the final 2 matches. The 2 matches for first place, the title in the Premier League, and we're not going to finish with Liverpool because that's your team. So the next match we're doing is Liverpool home against Wolverhampton. We got minus 650 to win for Liverpool. Wolverhampton are plus 1700. You got the draw at plus 750. Over 3.5 goals plus 110. Under 3.5 goals minus 135. So all these games with big favorites are probably the hardest ones to get a bet for, just because you have these big favorites. Do you want to take them minus 2.5? Do you want to take the overs, that kind of a thing? But this is your team, so I'm going to let you make the first bet with this one.
Yeah, there's too much on the line for me to get to feel super confident about making it on how many goals you win by. The odds are, as you mentioned before, they're highly favored. So it's well, let's avoid that completely. The one thing that I am going to zero in on here is that Mohamed Salah, he's a late fitness test for this one, but in my mind and probably in Jurgen Klopp's mind, why would you play him a week before the Champions League after being injured, not more than about 7 days ago? So it would just be foolish for him to play him, and I don't see it happening either. So take him out of the lineup, and you're likely to see Diego Jota, Sadio Mane, and Luis Diaz play up front. That said, this is the one I thought of before, but Luis Diaz here is 2 or more shots on target is plus 150. If you watch the League Cup final last Saturday, was that last Saturday? Yeah, it was last Saturday. He was their main source of attacking, fuel after Salah went off. So, I think he's going to take quite a few shots. And if you look at his recent starts, he has done that. He started against Tottenham. He took 2 shots on goal there. He started against, I guess this was Villarreal in that second leg, and or in the first leg, he took 3 shots on target there. 2 matches before that against Manchester United, he took 2 shots on a start as well. So, 3 of his past 5 starts, he's taken 2 shots on target. So I think, given that Mohamed Salah is going to be out, given the fact that, Liverpool pretty highly favored here, I think I like Luis Diaz at that plus 150 to take 2 or more shots on target.
Yeah, he also did not play Tuesday against Southampton, so he's going to be
Yeah.
rested, and
Yep.
he's probably most likely to go 90 of these front three forwards. I actually like, even though he's plus 150, like I feel like him to have two or more shots on target is should be more favorable than Son to have three or more shots on
Yeah.
target. But
I don't disagree with that at all.
oh, I guess I have to give mine. So I worked a little bit
That
to
is part
find
of this.
this. And this one is kind of like a same game parlay. So you're gonna have to. There's maybe only a couple sites that can do this. I originally looked at Liverpool win and clean sheet, but I think that was from what I saw. You're looking at minus 140, that kind of a range. So two not the best odds there. So I went a little different route. Liverpool minus 1.5 and a clean sheet. That is plus 105. And Wolverhampton, they want their season to be over. Um, Wolverhampton away from home, I don't think they're going to score in this spot. And Liverpool were in the spot last season, needed to win to finish top four. They got to win. They won 2-0 against Crystal Palace. I think Liverpool are going to get at least one goal in this game. And then I think they're going to clean sheet. So minus 1.5 clean sheet. Why not? Plus 105.
So you expect them to win 2-0?
Yeah, 2-0, 3-0, whatever. I'll take it.
Interesting. Does the potential absence of Virgil van Dijk, does that make you weary at all for that? It should be Ibrahima Konate and Joel Matip, in the back line. Any thoughts without their Rolls Royce center back?
I mean, they played at Southampton, and Southampton did not look that threatening outside of like one Nathan Redmond goal. And unless like Chiquinho goes off on the wing for Wolves and just tears it up, like Wolves are probably have one of the worst attacks in the league. I don't have their numbers, their scoring numbers in front of me right now, but they're definitely, one of the worst five, I'd say. And you got the return of Robertson and TAA in the lineup. I think that'll help compared to Joe Gomez that was back there last match. But I think they'll be fine. It's not like if I think if Liverpool go ahead, it's not like they're going to still be full press to where they're going to be at a disadvantage to allow a goal kind of thing, and they're at home. So I don't think Wolverhampton are going to score.
That's fair. 37 matches played by Wolves, 37 goals scored. So that's good for the fourth least amount of goals in the Premier League.
There you go. There's the numbers. They 17 in 18 away matches. There you go. Last match. This is it. The 10th match of Sunday. We have Chris's second favorite team, Manchester City. Uh, Manchester City home against Aston Villa. Again, these are almost the exact same odds as a Liverpool match. Manchester City minus 600 to win. Draws plus 700. Aston Villa are plus 1,700 to win. Over 3.5 goals plus 110. Under 3.5 goals minus 135. Do you have a special bet for this match, which allows Liverpool to win the league? What do you got?
I mean, it wouldn't be me if I didn't, right? But yeah, I mean, a lot on the line on this. I mean, to be fair to Manchester City, they're just so like unstoppable. They're just like it's like inevitability in the Premier League here. Deepest team, I think by far. And so I do expect them to win here, but given everything that's on the line, they're playing at the Etihad. Half the stadium might be full. So I think that I think I'm going to take Aston Villa here, and I'm going to take them on a double chance. So let's draw or win. You can get some pretty crazy odds, a little longer than I thought, but you can get Aston Villa at double chance. Let's see what I got here. Plus 475, which I think is insane. But there's a lot of storylines here at play. You got Stevie G going to Manchester City. He had his opportunity at a Premier League at one point, but yeah, I don't know. I think Aston Villa maybe pull a point here, and if you really, if you think that and you actually believe that, then take them at double chance plus 475 for a win or a draw.
How much do you believe in this bet?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, or like.
Also, if you want double chance Aston Villa, like, do you actually think they can win? Why not just take the draw at plus 700?
Well, because what if they do win? Then I can get plus 475. This is like, when you go out to eat. You don't want to go out to eat and you want to see one thing on the menu. You go out to you see the menu and you see, like maybe I want a margarita, maybe I want a beer, maybe I want both, maybe I want a steak. I want options. And that's what Double Chance gives us.
Let me read off some Villa away results here.
To answer your question, I'm like a 5 out of 10 in believing this in this
Okay.
bet.
Lost 2-1 at Wolverhampton. Couldn't score against Manchester United, couldn't score against Newcastle, couldn't score against Liverpool, couldn't score against Southampton, gave up 3 goals to Arsenal. There you go. Lost 3-0 at Chelsea. Okay. Wait, did I get my bet yet? No, I haven't. Oh, this is the one that took me forever to figure out. So I don't really like this one. Now that I don't like yours, but I don't like mine either.
Yeah, sure, my bet, and then you don't like yours either. So what is this?
So I went a few. I kind of like both teams to score, no draw. But I was looking at Aston Villa away matches. They've had some struggles playing away. And then you look at recent results between these teams, and I think Villa have like 4 goals in the last, 10 years of away league matches at Manchester City. So it's not a great number. And then the one thing that kind of scared me the most was that Kyle Walker returned to training this week. And Kyle Walker is kind of like, their right back, their last man back kind of a thing, even though, he plays right back, but he's their fastest guy on their team. Yeah, he's their fastest guy on their team. That's what they kind of been missing. That's what they missed against West Ham when Jared Bowen had a couple goals. And I think having him kind of hampers my thoughts of Aston Villa actually scoring this match. That leaves me worried. So that was my original thought. If Kyle Walker doesn't start, I'd say, both teams to score, no draw. I'd like that bet. But instead, I went for something else. I looked at Kevin De Bruyne to score at minus 105 and then thought a little bit more about it and decided on Kevin De Bruyne to assist at plus 100. So this is his first season, maybe ever, that he's actually had more goals than assists. So I'm just going to try and benefit off of him not scoring and him assisting instead. So Kevin De Bruyne to assist plus 100. And there you go. That's it. What do you got to say for yourself?
I enjoy the bet, but I think, curiously, you can still get. You were talking about how this is the first season De Bruyne has had more goals and assists. He had 4 goals. What was that, 2 games ago? You can get Kevin De Bruyne to score and Manchester City to win at plus 150. So
yeah, but you don't think they're going to win. Why would you take that?
This is for you. This isn't for me.
Okay. Yeah, I looked at those numbers and yeah, like he has 15 goals this season, only 7 assists, but you look at every other season, 6 goals, 12 assists, 13 goals, 20 assists, 8 goals, 16 assists. He's been really efficient. Like when he got those 4 goals, he had 4 shots on target. So I just think it's more likely that he assists, even if the prior numbers don't actually say that. So
yeah. Him and Saul are probably the 2 just best players in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. So I could read off all of our bets, but I don't think that's worth our time here. We're 48 minutes in. I will put up a graphic with our bets probably sometime Sunday, so we can have a little fun with that. I'll tweet that out from the RotoWire soccer account. But hey, we got 10 bets in. We got 10 different bets. We just gave out 20 bets on kits and wagers. So that's good. That's good.
Maybe we go and we live tweet some of these bets on Sunday. Give me the keys to the Ferrari to the RotoWire soccer Twitter account and Adam just hit his bet.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Chris just hit his bet. Chris just missed his bet.
That takes too much time up. But I've been, for anyone watching on YouTube or Twitter, I've been scrolling back and forth between our cheat sheets, which you can see we have implied goal totals. We have our lineups all on one page. And then I've also used our sports betting page. As you can see, I got my article up I got 3 of my bets that I used today in this article, but if you want more explanation for those, check that out. Trying to finish the season in the positive. You can read all about that, but also on our betting page we got odds where we compare odds with DraftKings, FanDuel, PointsBet. And as you can see, it looks like DraftKings and FanDuel looks like their odds are better than what other sites are providing. But I usually go here, especially have money on FanDuel and DraftKings. You just go here and then you just bet on whatever place has the best odds. But Chris, thanks for joining me here at CHROwen8 on Twitter. It's been a long season. As you said, about 45 shows in. We will have World Cup content in the summer. I don't know what kind of content you're planning on writing an article. Maybe we'll come on a Kits and Wagers, kind of talk a little bit about some World Cup futures, that kind of thing as summer moves along. But any final thoughts going into the final weekend, game week 28 here?
Yeah, I mean, they can try to keep us down, but they won't keep us down. So we'll be back. We'll be out here. We'll probably, connect for a couple podcasts during the off season here. Yeah, we are working on some World Cup, maybe some futures bets, some odds there. So expect that to come in the next week or two. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. We kind of talked about this randomly in the offs, like right before the season started, and then here we are 45 episodes later. So yeah, happy to be a part of it. And luckily we got to enjoy an ice cold beer here on our last episode. But yeah, looking forward to these matches, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we got a couple more comments I want to read from Isaac. He's projecting Manchester City to win 3-0. Kevin De Bruyne gets 2. And then CJ agrees with his mate. And he says hashtag beauty. So there you go. We got some Manchester City fans watching the show. But thanks for watching. Hopefully we can get some bets. To stay tuned to RotoWire Soccer to see who wins, to see who has to buy the other person a kit. So we got a little fun going on. But we got all the DFS stuff also coming as well. Chris is going to have a FanDuel article coming. We have DraftKings content as well. And, of course, we have the show and my article. So we got a lot of content for the final Sunday of the Premier League. It's going to be fun. I think we got relegation battles. We got top 2 battles. We got top 6, top 7 battles. We got top 4 battles. So we got a little bit of everything, which really hasn't been the case for a long time. So, Chris, enjoy your Sunday. And good luck with your bets, but not too much luck. And we'll see everyone over this summer.